Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today in this video, I'm going to show you how I meal prep for some of my animals. I think today I'm going to be doing meals for about 20 animals. So these are the meals I do about once a week. Some of the stuff is just for a couple of days and then I have to do another batch. And then some of the meals are for like the entire week or to 10 days. And then after that, I'll do another batch. So usually I'm not doing all of it at once. Like for example, the parrots, I'll do the parrots usually by themselves because I do it every couple of days. Whereas like the food for the sugar gliders, that one kind of lasts 7 to 10 days. So today I'm gonna do it all at once just to be able to show you guys how I do meal prep. Every once in a while, it does kind of all fall on the same day. So what I do first is I start off by making a list of the food that I'm gonna give the animals. Now I actually keep all of my stuff here in this notebook and it has what I've done in the past. That way I can look through it and see what they've been eating because that's probably something I'm not gonna remember. And so for example, like certain things like spinach and kale, those are really good for animals and they have a lot of benefits, but it's something you don't wanna feed often. So that helps me make sure that, okay, I haven't done kale in a couple of weeks, so I can do it again or something like that so that I'm not overloading the animals with food that they shouldn't be having often. So the meals that I'm going to be preparing today are going to be for the sugar glider and hedgehog. They eat the same food, so that's going to be one bowl. The rabbits and the guinea pigs, that's going to be one separate thing too. I'm also going to prepare the dog's veggies. And I'm gonna make the parrot's food as well as the bearded dragon. So yeah, that's gonna be the meals that I'm gonna prepare today. I'm gonna be showing you all the ingredients, how I prepare it, and just showing you everything that I do when I'm meal prepping for animals. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also go over to my Instagram. I am doing a giveaway right now up until Christmas, so you guys can enter that. And yeah, enjoy this video. I'm gonna start off by writing down the date so I know when I'm preparing this. And today is December 11th, 2019. And I'm gonna be doing the sugar gliders food. I like to start off with the sugar gliders because this is gonna last the longest for them. And so I wanna kind of go through the ingredients that I'm gonna use for them to see what they need. And then what I like to try to do is from that, if for example, if I'm gonna give them broccoli, then I'm gonna probably list broccoli in the rest of the meals as well. That way I'm not buying a ton of different food and then that just kind of turns into a mess and it's like, okay, these guys get broccoli, these guys don't get it this week. Instead, I'm just gonna try to limit my ingredients. That makes shopping a lot easier. It makes my food bill a lot easier too. One of the other tricks that I like to do when I'm trying to think of ingredients is, especially for the parrots, I'll try to get different colors. The really cool thing about that too is that often different color fruits and vegetables have different types of vitamins and minerals. So that makes it a varied meal as far as vitamins and minerals go. So for example, the sugar gliders, I've written down, of course, they get their chicken and then broccoli and squash. Those are two green vegetables, so now I'm going to try to think of a different color to add to their food. Now that I have the whole list done, I'm going to write out how many of each vegetable I need. Okay, so now it's time to head off to the store and get the stuff that we need for the food prepping. So from this list, we're gonna get 12 different ingredients, a couple of each, and that's what we're gonna make the meals out of. So let's get going. Back home now, and these are the groceries that I got, the chicken and vegetables. And I get this question a lot, so for those of you who are wondering, All of this cost $15. So it's really doesn't cost that much to feed your animals fresh foods. So I have the food there, and then over here on this side I have all of the bowls. This is going to be rabbits and guinea pigs, parrots, sugar glider hedgehog, dogs, and bearded dragon. And this is where I'm going to be preparing the food. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention is that I do usually have my birds out right now. So Barry will sometimes like hang out by the sink, and then Cairo will be on my shoulder. But for this video, I'm actually not gonna have them out just because I have my filming equipment out right now, and that's gonna be pretty irresistible for Barry to play with. I'm gonna start off by preparing the food that I'm gonna be cooking. There's not a lot of food that needs to be cooked, but I like to get that started so that by the time I am done preparing the meals, the food's already cooked. Even better if it's already cooling off. So I went ahead and put the chicken to boil. That's gonna be for the sugar gliders. I didn't use the entire package that I bought. It came with 3 chicken breasts and I used 2 of them. And then next I'm gonna be washing the squash because that's the other thing that I have to cook. The squash I'm gonna want in big chunks because I'm going to be cooking it, so it will get smaller, and then that way it's not completely mushy. Next, let's get started with the broccoli. I'm going to be putting the broccoli through the food processor in order to break it up really small, but first I have to cut it into some smaller pieces. Here's how the broccoli looks. That's some nice pieces of broccoli. Nothing too small, but also really chopping it up. So this is for the sugar gliders, so I'm going to start by putting some broccoli in there. With the broccoli, I kind of just wanted to cover the bottom. Now this is for the bearded dragons, so I'm going to add some of this broccoli to it as well. And I'm going to use this container just for leftover waste from the vegetables. And that goes either to like the chickens or the turtle, just extra stuff for them. And this one's for the parrots. This container here is what I'm going to use to make the dog's veggie mix. Theirs is completely pureed. Now I did end up with an extra broccoli, so I think I'm just gonna add this to the rabbit's dish. I wasn't originally gonna give them any broccoli, but since we have extra, they can have this. I totally forgot that one of the things that we're cooking are these beets for the dogs. One beet is for the parrots and the other 2 are for the dogs, and the beet tops are for the rabbits. So I better clean these off and get started with that. While I'm cooking these beets, they are going to be breaking down. So this broth is still something that we're going to use. We're not going to throw out the broth because that's still going to have some important stuff in it. This beet is going to stain this once I actually put it through. It stains it really red, and I don't really want the other animals to have that on their food, so I'm going to leave this to one of the last things that I'm going to make for the parrots. So I'm going to set this aside, and for now I'm going to be cutting up these beet tops for the rabbits. Next we have some yellow bell peppers, so I'm going to wash these. I like to leave the middle intact because Barry loves these, so I'm going to give him this to eat. I'm cutting these by hand because I prefer them to be in a little bit bigger chunks, and these are going to be for the sugar gliders. The rest of the yellow bell pepper is going to be going to the dogs. I also have some carrots for the sugar gliders and the bearded dragons. Hadn't noticed that the camera turned off, but I chopped up the carrots for the sugar gliders and the bearded dragons. And the bearded dragons I chopped for a lot longer than the sugar gliders just because I wanted them to have smaller carrots. While I wait for some of this food to finish cooking, I'm going to be working on the rabbits / guinea pigs food. So this is their red leaf lettuce, and I'm going to wash this and chop it up. Their stuff I chop up all by hand just because I want them to have large pieces. Some of this I am going to use for the bearded dragons. So grab some dark leaves and some of the middle part and chop that up for them. I also have some parsley for the rabbits. Wash this. Next we have radishes with radish leaves on top as well. So I got the radishes for the rabbits, the parrots, and the bearded dragons. And the tops, the leaves, are going to be for the rabbits as well. And there's the chopped up radishes for the parrots and the bearded dragons. The last thing that I have for the rabbits for their food is this oregano. The oregano I got for a couple of the animals. One of these is going to go to the dogs. The oregano is also for the parrots, and there's not a lot of it, so I'm going to chop it by hand. This one I'm going to give to the dogs. And then some more for the rabbits and guinea pigs. These are really strong herbs, so like with this, we don't give too much to the animals. That actually might be too much for the dogs. I might cut back on some of that. To get a little bit from the dogs, I'm gonna chop it up for the rabbits. So the rabbits is done. I'll show it to you more once it's mixed together, but that's what they're getting. The food over here on this side is done cooking. The chicken's done, squash, and beets. The beets are softer. Like I said, I'm going to use this juice from the broth. Wasn't a lot, so I actually need to add more water. I'm adding some cold water now. Let's see, a little bit more. Let's see if that does it. Alright, this one's not quite finished. I just needed more room. So now that we did that, I'm gonna, so it's orange from the bell pepper and the green broccoli. It's gonna turn completely red right now. You'll see how potent these are. And then we're also gonna add a pear. This was a really large pear, but that's fine. We got a lot of vegetables. So that looks pretty good. Like I said, it turned completely red. Now the dogs won't be able to spit out their food. And I have some leftovers, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this with today's meal and store the rest. The sugar gliders are also getting a pear. I'm also giving the bearded dragon some squash, but this is a really big squash, so probably give them like just part of it. I think this is going to be too much. For the bearded dragons. Yeah, this was a lot, so I'm actually going to give the parrots the leftovers. Last thing I have for the parrots is this Hungarian chili and a red beet. I left this for last for them because this is spicy and I don't want it to get on the food for the rest of the animals. Like sometimes when I'm cutting jalapenos, even just like handling them burns my fingers. So I think it would really suck for the animals if they ended up getting spicy food. But the parrots can't taste spice, so this is really good for them. And of course we have the squash. I'm gonna drain it out. Let that cool down. And the last thing I'm gonna be cutting is this chicken. And I'm gonna save the broth from the chicken to add to some of the dog's food. And this does have some of the beet juice on it. It's fine, it's not gonna hurt them, it's cooked. They can actually have cooked beets. You know, actually, instead of cutting this by hand, I'm just gonna throw it in here. But I will have to wash this since I did use it for the jalapenos. And here's all the food that we made. So this is the sugar gliders, and it has the broccoli, yellow bell peppers, carrots, pear, squash, and chicken. And then there's the food for the dogs that has the beets, oregano, broccoli, yellow bell pepper, and pear. There's the food for the bearded dragons. And as you can see, that has the red leaf lettuce, radishes, broccoli, carrots, and squash. And the parrot's food over here, doesn't it look pretty? The parrot's food has beets, broccoli, radishes, oregano, and the Hungarian yellow chili. And here's the food for the rabbits and the guinea pigs. I need to mix all of these up, of course, but that one has parsley, red leaf lettuce, beet tops, radishes, and oregano. And that's how I meal prep for these animals. This is for 6 dogs, 2 bearded dragons, the parrots, and like the little canaries. This is for a rabbit and 2 guinea pigs, and this is for a hedgehog and 4 sugar gliders. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed getting to see how I meal prep for the animals. If you have questions, be sure to leave them down below in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!